Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm really sorry, it's been a while. Life's got in the way, and also the weather was a little bit bad, and then it's gone super good. So I've managed to get in a couple of trips to Exeter's Air Sports and a few lessons there just to bring me back up to speed. But before we go any further, I really want you to look at this snippet here. I'll show you the full video later on. It's a really dangerous low flying incident, completely illegal. It's something that I witnessed just down the road from where I live here on the Isle of Wight. Absolutely reckless. I'd love to hear your thoughts, so I'll show you the full clip at the end of this video and I'd love to hear what you think. Anyway, so what's been happening? Well, I've done a couple of trips up to Exodus and it's been really good. The first trip I did, the weather was beautiful, although it was very lumpy and bumpy because of the heat, because of the thermals. We're surrounded by the M25 and the M1 and a few other major roads, plus there's a few towns all around there. We've got industrial areas, etc. So they're all kicking up lots of heat, lots of air pockets, which is great if you're in a glider. You can thermal away on those, but in the microlight, it's not the most comfortable thing to do. Just one more point I want to add. I'm very sorry about the quality of the video. I'm using a GoPro 4, which is ancient. It's probably about 10-15 years old. And I'm also mounting the camera on the chest rather than my helmet. I found that the helmet mount I had on the previous video was a bit too high and it's not really safe, and it kept clunking on things. So I mounted it on my chest, and I decided to buy a new camera, which is a DJI Osmo. Yeah, so one of those is on its way, and a smaller helmet mount as well. So quality of the video should be a lot better. But when I will be flying my own aircraft, I will have cameras mounted on the struts and on the wings and all that sort of stuff to create some really nice video for you people. And again, I'd like to hear your thoughts and suggestions on that too. But anyway, I'll move on. We did some flying about 2,000 feet away, sorry, about 2,000 feet high, something like that. So we just did some practice turns, and once I got back into the swing of things, it was all right. I locked my position on the crossbar, center strut in front of me, got the nice 30-degree turn, and once you're in that turn, you can see if you've got the center strut, you lock a position on that center strut, and you've got the horizon. As you go around, you keep that angle on. Once you remember that, obviously keeping your lookout all around at the same time, you get a nice rhythm of looking around, keeping that center line, and you get a nice angle. Just polishing things like that, it's really nice to do. And then we started to do a few practice landings, and on the second session it was very cloudy and cool, which was fantastic because there was no wind neither. So we spent the whole lesson just doing some circuits. The first one, you can see I'm coming in for the approach here, and it's not good. It's not looking like it's going to happen. The field below me had recently been ploughed. There was a bit of crosswind all of a sudden, so we were kicked all over the place. And I decided to do a go around, which is the correct thing. And looking back on this video, I'm very proud of that decision. I wasn't trying to be showy-offy. There was no one on the airfield watching me or anything like that. It's completely about me learning, making the right decisions, and becoming a good airman again. So did a go around, came in again for another landing, and it was good, very good. I was very happy with this. And then obviously practice takeoffs as well, trying to take into account the torque of the engine, which does pull you slightly to the right. We're also taking off on a slight camber on a slight hill on the runway there, so it's a little bit to the side, and also it's elevating the hill. So there's a lot of factors to take into account, but I always think if you can take off and land on something not great, then when you do approach an airfield, which is like a snooker table, then you've got no excuse for a nice landing at all. So we spent about just over an hour just doing some practices of this, and I walked away from the lesson very, very happy. And I will be making my way up there in a couple of weeks again for another lesson. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be going back solo. I just need to do a good few greases, nice landings, and I won't bend the aircraft or anything like that because he's got a living to make from that. So I'll be very cautious, and when I'm ready and when he's ready, off I will go. Fingers crossed. So let's move forward about what I spoke to you at the beginning of this video. I was having a drink with my family. There's a beach bar just down the road where I live. Luckily, it's beautiful. This was bank holiday weekend, Friday evening, about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and this aircraft suddenly appeared around the corner. It was treetop height, flying at an angle, sweeping around towards me, and I'm sat here, and the aircraft is at an angle like that, and then it just cuts across me, and I think his height would have been between 60 and 100 foot, no more. And first time in my life, I was in fear of my family and myself's mortality. It was not good. I was very angry about it, actually. It shouldn't happen. It puts anyone who's an aviator in a bad light in other people's eyes, and we all strive to do what we do in the most safest manner. And when you see someone flying recklessly like this, showing off to the posh restaurant called the Hut, they obviously had people, friends in there who were waving and watching, which is fine for them, but not for anyone else who lives in this area. And also, if that aircraft had an engine failure, there is absolutely nowhere to go except into houses. So multiple deaths would have been occurring there, and the whole aviation industry will be in a bad light. So I'd love to hear your thoughts about this moron. Absolute moron, in my opinion. There's no excuse. Let me know your thoughts. Look at the video. I'll show you it again, and I'll show you it in slow motion. Yeah, not nice. Anyway, that's the end of this video. I'll leave you with that, and hopefully I have something a bit more positive for the next one as well. So thank you for watching. Don't forget, like and subscribe, all that nonsense if you're not a member already, or if you're not a subscriber already. It'd be great to have you on board. Thank you very much for the new people who signed up. That's great as well. Nice bit of encouragement, and I will build this channel up further. Thank you.